Welcome back to The Rock, the American 200 continuing for the ARCA Racing Series. It's the final race of the 2010 season. We will determine a champion in the next 59 laps. Out in front now, it is Patrick Sheltra leading. Behind him is Chad McCumbee in the one, but he's 6.3 seconds back from our race leader. And Frank Kimmel in the third position.
This is how Chad got that second place away from Frank Kimmel. Remember, green flag pit stops are starting now for some of the leaders. Chad drives the bottom of the racetrack. Frank slides up to the top. Chad able to beat him off of turn number 4 to take over that second spot.
So we'll see if McCumbee can reel in the 60 of Patrick Sheltra. Sheltra, again, running well, has a 5.5 second lead now over McCumbee.
Chad McCumbee had the fastest lap that last time on the racetrack.
McCumbee will have to work around some of the slower lap traffic as we see Arpin just behind the 44 of Frank Kimmel. Again, Arpin has a little fresher tires and has more fuel than the front runners that we're seeing up here. So if this does continue under green, we're going to start seeing some green flag pit stops. As a matter of fact, we already have seen a couple guys make their way onto pit road. The 77 of Tom Hessert, the 53 of Steve Park, both of those cars have been on pit road. 3 wide once again. Kimmel able to get in front. Steve Arpin as they go through slower lap traffic. You see Ty Dillon in the 41 back there following in the tire tracks.
You know, John Monson.
And we got some smoke out of Steve Park's 53.
Looks like he may have made some contact with somebody. There's a lot of smoke from Steve Park. I thought maybe it made some contact in that left front tire rubbing, but
that could be under the hood. An engine issue for the 53 of Steve Park, although he's still clicking off some pretty good lap times.
The ARCA officials are watching that car to make sure that's not putting any oil or any fluid on the racetrack. That car's going to have to be black flagged. As a matter of fact, it was black flagged this last time. You hate to throw a caution flag when you're in the middle of green flag pit stops. I like what John Monson did. He brought Tom Hessert. He knew he was struggling. He'd already gone a lap down. He brought him to pit road back on lap number 140. They're going to try to use those fresh tires longer to try to get that lap back.
So we see Steve Park on the apron now. We stay green as we've seen some. Oh, we got a problem with Tim George Jr. in the 31. Up the racetrack and into the wall he goes, coming out of turn number 2. Now to the inside wall goes the 31, and the caution will come out.
Well, that will be just about the end of Tom Hessert's championship hopes if this race goes on without any major incidents for our 2 other point leaders, because Tom Hessert right now is being shown 2 laps down. I thought it was a great call. If this race would have stayed green, then I think it would have really worked out for him.
Take another look. Again, the 31.
Look at that's our point leader right on the outside. Ooh.
So close. Looks as though maybe a right front tire went down on that 31. Some tire issue.
But he got
looked like
sideways first. He got sideways first. Maybe there was some fluid from Steve Park's car. Maybe he cut down a rear tire. But then when he overcorrected, he made hard contact with the outside wall. Then he's going to come down to the inside.
Yeah, the right front tire was still up even after he made contact with the outside wall.
See him get sideways down there. He was right on the bottom of the racetrack, right underneath our point leader, Patrick Sheltra, and leader of this race.
So Tim George Jr. out of that race car. I'm sure very disappointed.
Pits are going to be open now. We're going to have just over 50 laps to go. These guys really want these fresh tires.
And they're about to get them. The race on to pit road will be led by the 60 of Patrick Sheltra. We go down to Ray.
It was amazing, Rick, to watch how sideways these cars were coming off of turn number 4. Drivers screaming up and down, I need tires. Here comes Frank Kimmel. He'll be the first to hit on my end of pit road. He'll bring that Menard Ford in. They're going to put 4 tires on it. They're going to go a little bit of an air pressure adjustment. They'll need a 1.5 cans of fuel. Kimmel with a good pit stop started. Jim.
Chad McCumbee comes down pit road, second on the racetrack. He needs longer runs. His crew chief, Cal Beaupre, wants to know if Chad had squeezed the trigger yet. Chad said no, so indeed he's got a little bit left. Patrick Sheltra's coming as well, the 60 machine. 4 tires for our race leader and point leader, and fuel now going in Sheltra's Toyota. This is the very same car he won with at Chicagoland and raced in Kansas. Very, very strong run here today at Rockingham from Sheltra.
And Sheltra is going to win the race off of pit road. So an impressive stop for our race leader. How about the big move by Ty Dillon in that 41? That's what we saw him do at Kansas a week ago, and then went on to win the race. Stay with us. Coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on Speed is brought to you by Mothers. There's no shine like Mothers. By Messina Wildlife Management. Stop animal damage with Messina Wildlife Management. And by Aaron's. Everyone's a lucky dog at Aaron's. What a gorgeous day to determine a championship from Rockingham, North Carolina. The 60 of Patrick Sheltra still out in front. And our Aaron's lucky dog goes to the 25 of Mikey Kyle. So he will get a lap back as the safety crews are attending to a little bit of fluid on the backstretch. Tomorrow on NASCAR Race Day takes over Fontana. Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle join us for exclusive live interviews. Plus, we'll recap how the standings shuffled in Kansas. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot live from Fontana tomorrow, 12 Eastern, only on Speed. What a phenomenal facility Andy Hillenburg has here in the Rock.
It really is, and such a great history here.
Yeah.
1965 is when this racetrack opened, and Curtis Turner won the first race here in 1965.
Now you were, what row in the grandstands were you sitting when you watched Curtis Turner win that race?
I don't think I was here for that one, but I was here when my brother Benny clinched his 1973 Winston Cup championship after having a horrendous accident on lap number 13. He brought that car into the garage area, and a bunch of people from a lot of different crews put that car back together, and he got back on the racetrack to clinch that championship.
And very classy, Andy Hillenburg named the Benny Parsons Tower right here on top of the press box. Very cool. Let's go down to Jim Trado.
Just a quick update on Steve Arpin. Now he's back on the same page as everybody else, running third on the racetrack in that Mike's Hard Pink Lemonade 55. When he came down pit road, Billy Venturini did make a change. He said, we did an air pressure adjustment, went one round back up on the track bar, and he looked at me and said, we put enough fuel in. We didn't pack it full. We put just enough fuel in. And as Arpin left pit road, he said, boys, we're going to win this race.
Jim, to give you a quick update on number 41, Ty Dillon has the same car that he used to win at Kansas, and they had just a little bit of an adjustment, a half a round of wedge and up one round on the track bar. He was fighting a little bit tight off, but they had a real good pit stop down here for the RCR boys, so keep your eye on number 41.
Guys, I just wanted to mention that the 15 car of Ryan Wilson, he was the winner of the Richard Petty Driver's Search right there, and gets an opportunity to run this car here at this racetrack. He's from Randleman, North Carolina, so that's a little bit of home cooking there, but he's done a terrific job, stayed on the lead lap right now with 14 cars on the lead lap, in a great position for a good run here. Could open some eyes this race.
Are they going to rename Randleman maybe Petty, North Carolina?
Yeah, certainly could be deserving of that.
There's still some fluid on the backstretch that the safety crews are attending to, and so we stay under caution for a few more laps, and while we do that, we'll get some bills paid. We go back to commercial.